We know that people are using their tablets and their smartphones and their mobiles while they're watching television, right? So it's a very logical next step for for content owners, broadcasters, networks, and entrepreneurs to sort of give them something to do that actually allows them to engage with content. Because we see by virtue of behaviors, social behaviors like the amount of Twitter traffic during primetime TV, that people are socializing around television, right? We always have. This is the digital water cooler of today. It's really what the second screen is. The challenge is that, because there is such great fragmentation, and you have application developers that are small startups, you have operators that are trying to put forth their TV everywhere strategy, and you have broadcasters that are leveraging the fact that they actually own the rights to the content and bringing something of greater value to the second screen. There's too much jockeying for audience and eyeballs, and it's not critical mass enough yet, meaning as a percentage of total sort of viewing population. So no one really has enough folks in one place, meaning one application, to build a viable advertising network. And I think that is the biggest challenge. The reality is that, one of the conclusions I've had, and this sort of comes from the TV of Tomorrow conference where I was at last week, is that I definitely believe that it's going to result in being a space where it boils down to operators versus networks, because at the end of the day, they stand to lose the most. And as a small entrepreneurial second screen, because there's no Facebook or Twitter-like object, you're making a choice to go up against individuals that have very deep pockets and stand to lose an incredible amount, because they have a long-standing endemic business in television and in selling 30-second spots where, to this day, their bread is still buttered. I believe that in 12 months, all bets are off. When the ACR technology is sort of native to the television sets and it's at the kind of the middleware layer, and the open application environments are aware of what's happening in linear stream and they can interact with it. So, for example, an advertisement is served, a 30-second spot, and whether it's a Yahoo Connected TV app or it's an NBC app or it's an independent application developer's application, they can be aware of it and deliver an overlay or an interactive call to action. That's going to be a game changer. So when you're watching television and the interactivity and sort of the immersive experience is delivered right on the TV and you're using your remote control to interact, there's less of a motivation or sort of a runway to go and use your second screen and do email or socialize or check in or anything else. In regards to what is really happening in video? Are people just repurposing TV spots as their video ads? And is there really a shortage of inventory? And are brands going to start to create content at scale to use as their means of communication with audiences and consumers? So I think if we go back to the new fronts and what just happened, look, at the end of the day, there is a shortage of premium video inventory, at least so the industry believes that, right? Which is why the AOLs, Microsofts, and Yahoos are going very bullish and investing heavily in premium video. Also, another sentiment that came out of the new front was that content is advertising and advertising is content, right? But the reality is that producing content on a consistent basis with regularity at high volume is expensive. The operation expense of that, the agency cost of that, for a brand to actually continually produce, storytelling narrative content as part of how they, engage with their consumer is very labor intensive. And that in and of itself creates a challenge because it's not advertising anymore. It's editorializing, right? It's publishing. So it's not about buying a campaign or media and serving it. It's about creating an editorial calendar. Right now, a lot of the ads that we do see on the video ads that are online, we see it's probably mixed. Half of it is derivative content. It's just repurposing the 30-second spot. And a lot of that is where you see networks like Hulu, for example, that actually are just television content brought online. And then there are a lot of advertisers that are going, CPG in particular is going bullish because they see good returns and they're share shifting their dollars from television. So I think it'll be a while until someone cracks the nut on how to produce good content at scale on a consistent basis and listen to an audience so that what comes out of the pipes continues to engage them. Someone has to figure that out for a brand. Until that happens, I think it's going to be a long time coming until that's a core strategy for many brands.